This first section here is going to be a sparrow part. I'm just going to walk you guys through it. There's going to be these bubbles of heat that are going to protect us from the cold outside. You'll start stacking frostbite. If you get frostbite times 10, you'll die. So for this first part here, we're just going to go from bubble 1 to bubble 2. There's going to be a spider mine in the middle where unknown just hit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around that mine. We're going to go over 2 jumps across the canyon. Favor the left side here, and that'll get you to the second bubble. Second spot we're going is going to be right over here. You could go down here, but if you do, you'll end up triggering spider mines. Everyone behind you will get stuck. So instead, we're just going to go over this little lip, favor the left side. Down here, there's going to be a spider mine on the left and right. Just weave around them. You're going to go up a ramp. In the distance, you'll see a big structure. If you aim at that structure and then hit the boost, it'll launch you across the canyon. Here we go. So here's the mines on the left and right. Aim at the structure on the ramp. And then we make it to the little heat. Alright, this next one, we're just going to go all the way across this canyon here. It's a pretty flat, open area. There's going to be a spider mine right in the middle. Just keep going past it, and you'll see the bubble on the other side. Here we go. So there's the mine. I'll try to trigger it so you can see it. And then bubble in the distance. This next one's a little weird to describe. We're going to go over a couple little small jumps. There's going to be a drop-off with a wall in front of us. We're going to... There's a little shelf at that wall. We're just going to kind of go around that shelf until we get to the bubble. So just try to follow me. If you get lost here, I'll come back and I'll help you. So go over these first couple little jumps. And we're going to go down here. There's a little shelf. We're just going to stay along this shelf until we get to the heat bubble down where I am. For this one, we're going to go up the ramp. We're going to go... It's like a crescent moon hooking to the left. If you just go straight, you'll fall off. So we're going to hook around to the left. At the top of the hill, there's a spider mine, so favor the left side. There's going to be a little rock. You'll see me shoot it. Just go around that rock and follow me, and you'll see the bubble on the right side. Here we go. So here's the rock. So just go around it, and you'll see the bubble right here on the right-hand side. Final one. Follow me. There's going to be a triangle rock on the right. We're going to favor the left. There's going to be a big gorge we're going to have to jump across. And if you don't stop and line up before you go across that gorge, you won't make it. So, follow me. I'll show you where the gorge is. Here's that triangle rock, so we're going to favor the left. Here's the gorge, so line up. And then launch over. Alright, secret chest. So, if you're looking at the exit door, you're going to go diagonal back to the right over here. We're just going to go around the cliff. So follow me out here. Jump on this rock. And then go out around the outside. There's a little crevice in the mountain. And then right up here, it's going to be your secret chest. Collect it, and then jump through the crack. Alright crew, welcome to First Encounter. This is called Crypt Security. So for this one, there's going to be 2 major, they're called augments, that we're going to be working with. The first one is going to be this red one in the machine. This one's called Operator. For Operator, you shouldn't rally yet. For Operator, you can see things, the Operator you can interact with things that no one else can interact with. And the yellow one, which we're going to get in a second, is the scanner buff, and that one allows you to see things no one else can. In this encounter, the 2 are going to work together in order to hit the correct buttons downstairs. So downstairs, if you follow me, there's going to be 10 buttons. There's going to be 5 on the light side, which is the side here with all the lights on, and there's 5 on the dark side, where all the lights are turned off. So if you come down, we're going to do dark side first. So for the new exotic one. Dark side with all of the servers, first button's going to be right here. It's these little iPad-looking things with the 16 red dots. This is an operator panel, so the operator can interact with these. If you shoot the correct one, it'll just light up with a little operator symbol. If you shoot the wrong one, the entire room will catch on fire and you'll burn to death. So, this is Dark 1. Over here is going to be Dark 2. Dark 3 is going to be over here on the wall. And then 4 and 5 for both sides are next to each other. 4 is always going to be on the pillar, and 5 is always going to be on the wall. And then on the other side, with all the tubing, this is going to be light side. So over here we have light number 1. Then we've got light number 2 and right next to it, down the hall. Light 3 is on this tube here. It's hidden behind this other piece of tubing. And then same as before, 4 and 5 are next to each other. 4 is on the pillar, and 5 is on the wall. So downstairs, if you're playing the operator job, you're going to come down here and you're going to shoot 2 on the dark side that are the correct ones, and 2 on the light side that are the correct ones. When you shoot the 4 correct ones, the sirens are going to go off upstairs. You're going to come over to this machine, don't interact with this machine yet, and you'll put operator into the machine. Now all 3 of the machines, the 2 upstairs and the 1 down here, are all connected. So when you put the operator into here, it'll show up in all of them. Someone upstairs is going to grab operator out of the machine, and then the person who has scanner upstairs puts it in the machine. Downstairs, you pick up the scanner buff. Once you have the scanner buff down here and the damage has started, you're going to be looking at these fuses up on top here. It's going to be like a big game of Simon Says. The person down here is going to tell them which one is glowing golden, and upstairs, they're only going to shoot that fuse. We have to kill the fuses in a specific order, and only the person down here with scanner will know what that order is. If we shoot the wrong fuse, it turns red and explodes and kills all of us. So we have to make sure we only shoot the correct one. So the callouts are going to be from here, where I'm jumping, is light side, because this is the side where you shot all the light side stuff. And it's oriented as if you were looking at the fuses. So this is light left, light middle, and light right. And then same thing over here for the dark side. This is going to be dark left, dark middle, and dark right. And you're just going to keep doing that over and over until all the fuses are broken. Come on upstairs, and now I can explain scanner to you. Scanner is going to start off in the dark side. It's going to spawn on the back of a vandal. Once you kill that vandal, the scanner will drop on the ground. Whoever's doing scan job will pick it up. Then they're going to start looking through the glass to look at the operator panels. 2 of them are going to glow golden. The other ones will look like they do right now. So whichever 2 are golden, you'll call out to the person who's downstairs. Maybe it's like dark 2 and dark 4. So then downstairs would have to shoot those correct ones. You're going to use the glass in order to look through the floor and find all of the operator panels. So like over here where I'm standing, you would go dark 3. You have to kind of crouch, but you can see it back against the wall. So that's how the scanner can look down and see which ones are going to be the correct ones without actually going down there. Now once the operator and the scanner have done their job and we're starting the damage phase, and you're not the person downstairs, these fuses in the middle are going to be the things that we shoot. The shielding for them is going to drop, and then no one can shoot any of them unless the person downstairs calls out the correct one to shoot. If you're hanging out here on light side and he calls dark right, light side's not going to shoot anything. Only dark side will shoot. If he calls light side, then you know that you're going to be the one who needs to shoot. And if he calls left, middle, or right, you're only going to shoot that fuse. Because if you shoot the wrong one, it'll explode and we'll all die. Alright, welcome to second encounter. This is Atrax 1. So for this encounter, there's going to be 2 major zones. There's a zone down here, which is downstairs. And once we take the little drop pods in the back of the room, then we'll go to upstairs. That's the second story. There's going to be 3 guardians downstairs here, and 3 guardians upstairs. It's going to start with 4 down here and 2 up there, but one of the buffs that we need to pick up, operator, only spawns down here. So the person who gets assigned operator, they're going to pick it up down here and then join the rest of the team upstairs for 3 and 3. The way the encounter is going to work, we're going to clear some ads. There's going to be servitors that spawn out of the bottom, and when they do, their buff will spawn with them. For downstairs, it spawns operator. We're going to kill all the ads, we're going to kill all the servitors downstairs, and the person who's the operator buff, they're going to kill the operator, collect it, and then take the pods up to join their team. When they do that, they're also going to send 2 pods back downstairs. That way downstairs has a way to get upstairs. We're going to need to do that later on. Upstairs, there's going to be a lot of sniper shanks. Make sure that you prioritize them. They're really the only thing that can hurt you in this encounter besides the boss slamming you. Speaking of which, there's going to be 4 bosses upstairs and 4 bosses downstairs. They're all replications of the same Atrax 1. For downstairs, there's a 1 on the right, 1 in the middle, and then 2 on the left, 1 up on the catwalk, and 1 on the lower level. And when you're upstairs, there's 1 right underneath the elevators, 1 by the windows at the back of the room, 1 on the top right section, and 1 on the top left section. Upstairs is going to wait to kill all of their servitors. They're going to kill the middle one and the left one, but they're going to leave the right one alive until both scanner and operator are upstairs and ready. The reason why we do this is because when the servitor dies upstairs and all of them are dead, that starts the damage sequence, and we want to make sure everyone's ready before that happens. It'll happen on a timer anyways, but if we kill it, then we kind of control when it happens. Once that final servitor's dead and the damage phase starts, all of the bosses are going to Shiloh LaBeouf, just do it, and they're going to try to explode. When they do that, the person who has the scanner buff is going to get to see 1 of the 4 of them glowing golden, just like in the previous encounter. Whichever one's the glowing golden one, you're going to call out to your team to all run over to that Atrax, and then you're going to count down 3, 2, 1 damage. And then you all start damage at the same time. If you're using Lament, it's going to be a charged 3 light attacks, 1 heavy attack. If you're using any other sword, it's a heavy attack, and then light attacks until the boss disappears. The reason why we want to count down and time it is that there's only a 3-second damage window to damage the guy, starting from when they first take damage. So if you just, like, as soon as you find out the right one, you start shooting it, then the damage window will be gone by the time your team gets there. So you want to wait till everybody's ready. 3, 2, 1, damage. Once you do that, the boss will disappear and become a little purple ball on the ground. The person who has the scanner buff is going to take their buff, and whatever the closest machine is, they're going to deposit it in that machine so that the other story, the first floor for this example, can get their buff, because they're going to need it really quickly after the upstairs does their damage sequence. The second thing is that little purple ball. You need to get rid of it somehow. When you pick it up, you'll get a debuff called Atrax Replication with 40 seconds of time. The only person who can interact with the Atrax Replication is the operator. There's 4 airlocks upstairs. You can vent it out into space with the operator, or the operator can shoot it off your back to make it drop off of you and reset the timer on it. In either instance, you need some way to get rid of it, because if the timer hits 0, you will die. It'll make another Atrax that immediately goes into damage phase and explodes. And it'll kill all of us. So don't let the timer hit 0. After upstairs has their damage phase, downstairs is going to have their damage phase, and it's very similar to the upstairs. The only difference is that when you successfully kill your Atrax and that little purple orb gets dropped, there's no way to deal with it downstairs because all the people upstairs, like the operator's the only one who can deal with it. So you're going to have to take the elevators at the back of the room and make sure that you go up there so that operator can help you get rid of that buff. Upstairs gets their damage, downstairs gets their damage. Upstairs gets a second damage, downstairs gets a second damage. Then the game does a soft reset. It'll chill out, it'll spawn servitors again, it'll be nice and copacetic. We keep doing that over and over until we get the boss to final stand. When final stand happens, all 8 of the replications go upstairs, and all 6 of us are also going to go upstairs. Then the scanner is going to have to quickly find the correct Atrax when they all try to detonate at once. Among the 8 upstairs, we obliterate that one, and that's the end of the encounter. So now from here, you want to jump from the left edge of this railing where I'm standing, and you want to jump over to the panel over there, but you want to time it so you don't get hit by the rotating space station. Nice. Chest is right up here on the right.
Another reporter, I'll take it.
Welcome to the third encounter. Please do not shoot in here or you will start it. There's going to be 3 jobs here. Well, technically 4 jobs. And all of them are pretty easy. We're just going to go through them one by one, starting with operator. Let's come on over here.
What's damage for this one? Sorry.
There's no damage here. This is all mechanics.
Oh, nice.
It's all ad clear. I actually usually tell people to run Rat King here, just because it's fun. For the first thing, for operator, you're going to be interacting with these nuke stations here. When the sirens go off, everyone's going to start doing their job at the same time. The job for operator, you're going to find one of the 4 of these that have yellow energy filling up. When you find that, you're just going to shoot the panel next to it, and that stops it from spawning a nuke. That'll make the other 2 positions instantly spawn their nuke. That's it. So the first one is right here. Second one is right here. Come straight across. Don't go in front of the machine there or you'll start it. Third one is here. And the fourth one is on the right wall. Second one's going to be scanner. You can come up to where I'm standing if you'd like to check out scanner. So scanner's going to be interacting with these little white trash bin looking things here. 2 of them are going to be glowing golden, just like the scanner things did in the past. We're going to number them for ease of use. So 1s are going to be closest to the rally flag, 2s are going to be closest to the windows. So this is going to be L1, L2, R1, R2. 2 of them are going to glow. That's where you can deposit the nukes. So 2 members of your team are going to grab the nukes. They're going to run them over to those locations. Somebody does their other job. The nuke station's open. You dunk them in those spots. If you dunk it in the wrong spot, you'll die. So make sure you listen to scanner. They'll tell you where the safe place to dunk is. Final one, my favorite job, is suppressor. Suppressor interacts with these little beach ball things. This is a new buff that you guys haven't seen. This is the blue buff. So what they're going to do is they're going to, while standing underneath one of these beach balls, either the left or the right one, these sirens are going to go off, your job's going to start, there's going to be a little white ring underneath the beach ball. If you're standing in that, the boss will turn blue. When he turns blue, you're going to tag him with at least 1 point of damage. This is not a damage check. You are not bursting him for mad psycho damage skills. You are just tagging him with a bullet. It doesn't matter how much damage you do. You just have to hit him once. Once you tag him, this thing's going to go off. It erupts with like a yellow energy. As soon as you tag him, he'll stop being blue. You're just going to run to the middle beach ball right here. Stand underneath it, he'll turn blue again. You'll tag him one more time. Then you're going to go off to the left one. Up over here on the catwalk. Stand underneath it, he turns blue. You shoot him one more time. Once you've shot him from underneath each of the 3 beach balls, the boss will stun. He can no longer damage us for that phase. All of the trash cans that we store the nukes in are going to open up. And, importantly, 1 of the 3 buffs at random is going to break. So if you had scanner in the bottom left corner, it will instead give you an audio cue that sounds like somebody digitally typing on a keyboard. And it will say augment deactivated. That means that your buff is broken and you can no longer use it. When you get a augment deactivated, you're just going to come over to the machine in the middle, dunk it in the machine, and someone else will do your job. You get a 45-second debuff where you can't pick up the buff again. And we're just going to keep doing that over and over until we have dunked a total of 6 cycles of nukes. The only other job, and this is the most important job of the 4 of them, if you are not holding the blue buff, this is your job. When operator finishes their thing and the 2 nukes spawn, we have exactly 10 seconds to pick them up out of their machines, or they explode and kill all of us. So, make sure that when the nukes spawn, if one is near you, your jobs are already done except for blue buff. Blue buff cannot pick up a nuke, but everybody else, you can grab a nuke and then run it and dunk it in one of the trash cans. Once we finish each of the nuke sequences, you can see just below where the trash cans are, there's going to be a little panel of green energy that fills up here. There's 6 spots. That tells you how many more nukes we have to fill before we finish the encounter. And, fun little Easter egg, Bart's about to start the encounter. Fun little Easter egg, if you hang out and you look between the phases at the windows, it's going to start by putting up heat shielding, and then we're slowly going to creep closer and closer to Europa, till eventually that heat shielding fails, and then the whole room's going to turn red because we're going to hit the atmosphere, and all you're going to see outside those windows is flames. It's super neat. So now we're going to go down this hole in the ground, and we're going to run forward, and if Tannis catches you, he's going to kill you, so make sure you run fast.
Hey.
Alright, welcome to the final encounter. Here's the boss. This encounter is going to be separated into 3 sections. We're standing on one. This is spawn. Over where the blue flickering light to the left is blue, and over where the orange is orange. There's going to be 2 guardians at each location, and there's going to be 2 trash cans. where we deposit the nukes at each location. So if you look at Dante, this is going to be number 1. Over here, also at spawn, number 2. Over at the blue, we have number 3 and number 4. Over on the orange section, we have 5 in the corner, and in the opposite corner, number 6. There's going to be 2 guardians at each location. They're going to clear some ads, then they're going to kill a very beefy, void-shielded fallen captain. Once they kill them, the appropriate buff for their location is going to spawn. So, over at spawn is going to get operator, blue will always get scanner, and orange will always get suppressor. We're going to pick up those buffs for the people who are assigned to those buffs, and then the boss is going to migrate to one of only 2 locations. He's either going to go to spawn, or he's going to go to orange. For the first sequence, he can't go to blue. If we don't get a 1 phase and we end up going to a second, he favors blue for the second one. But for the first one, he can't go to blue, so it's always going to be spawn or orange. When he goes over there, he's going to have a little shank body underneath him, and there's going to be 4 thrusters that are keeping him up. Above each of those 4 thrusters is going to be an orange weak point. We're going to shoot the heck out of those orange weak points until they spit out a nuke. While he's doing that, he's going to be throwing purple fireballs from the sky. It's going to paint the area underneath it purple, and then it's going to blast. And if you're standing in that purple area, you're going to die. So make sure that you don't stand in the purple stuff, because it's very important during that phase that everyone stays alive. There's going to be a lot of team coordination happening for this boss fight. So we shoot out all 4 of the nukes, and then we're going to go underneath him and pick up the nukes. The reason why we do it in that order is because if you pick up a nuke, it locks all the other nukes on his body. So if we haven't popped all 4 of them, that's going to mess everything up. So get all 4 nukes out, then everyone who's running a nuke, which is going to be everyone except for the red buff and the blue buff, operator and the suppressor, those people are going to all pick up a nuke and then run it back to where they came from. So blue will always run back to blue, spawn will run back to spawn, orange will run back to orange, with the exception that the one at spawn and the one at orange, you'll be going to the location where the boss is not. Where he ends up, if he goes to orange, let's say, he will turn off 5 and 6. And if he goes to spawn, he will turn off 1 and 2. So, if you were originally at spawn and the boss goes to spawn, you're going to run back with the odd man out at orange. And if he goes to orange and you were at orange, you'll run back to the spawn with the odd man out from spawn. As long as you're running with the nukes, Tanix is going to try to trap you in a big purple bubble, and it's going to pull you to the center. So if they're like near somebody, they will pull them to the center as well. It's kind of like the detain from Volta Glass. The operator is going to shoot you out of that bubble. There's going to be the big purple bubble, and then within that purple bubble, almost like pepperoni slices on a pizza, there's going to be these little white dots along that bubble. You're going to need to shoot one of those white dots to pierce it with the operator buff. That releases the people trapped. On the second time that bubble shows up, operator's going to pop it, and then suppressor's going to suppress the buff. So suppressor's going to do the first beach ball and the second beach ball as fast as they can, and they're going to wait under the third beach ball until the second purple bubble gets popped. The reason why they do this is because if they do it earlier, as soon as they finish the suppression, it deactivates one of the 3 augments, and they have a chance to deactivate operator, and then the person who gets trapped in the bubble just dies. If you do it too late, then the people who are running the orbs can't dunk them because you haven't unlocked the trash cans, and you will cause them to die to radiation. So the timing is very precise. After the second bubble gets popped, the suppressor will finish suppressing. After all 4 of the nukes have been deposited, we're going to go to damage. So don't run through the middle, but follow me over here. I'm going to show you how the damage is going to go. So for the damage phase, we're going to start it right here, where I'm standing next to spawn. And if you jump up in the air, somebody went through the middle and started it.
Sorry.
So if you do some transformation.
If you look through the middle, you'll see there's 2 big lines of trash here. There's one I'm running along right here, that's the outer ring. And there's another one in here, that's the inner ring.
Okay.
Okay, when we start damage phase, in the outer ring, there's going to be trash flying around. And it's going to fly so fast around that if it touches you, it'll fling you into oblivion. In the inner ring, Tanix will be electrocuting everything in there. So if you go out, if you're standing outside of the outer ring, you'll do no damage. And if you're inside the inner ring, you'll die to electrocution. What you want to do is jump over the debris, and like icing on a donut, you want to land right between the two trash piles, right about where I'm standing. We're going to drop a well, and then we're going to light him up like a Christmas tree. After we damage him enough, he's going to throw us back out of the arena, over to like where we're standing. You're just going to carefully run back in, jump over, land back on that icing, damage, damage, damage. He'll throw you out a second time, then you're going to jump back in, damage, damage, damage. And by then we should get him to final stand. If we don't, we have to do the whole thing again, and he'll favor going to blue on the second phase. If we do get him to final stand, he will jump between orange, blue, and spawn at random, but he's vulnerable to damage the whole time. So you just keep shooting him until he falls over. And that's basically it.